It doesn't matter to me if you believe Jesus died on Friday. I believe he died on Wednesday. Okay? I'll explain here. Okay? Pierre does too. So it definitely is we're right. Okay? So I want you to think about this. What day is today? Today is Wednesday. Okay. Now, last night, okay, if you think all these events took place on Thursday night and Friday, that's okay, then you just think about Thursday night and Friday. But this is the way that I see it, okay, that I understand it. So last night would have been the time Jesus is washing his disciples' feet. He's going to have that Last Supper with his disciples. Judas will betray him, go out. Jesus is going to go and pray with his disciples. It's getting later and later into the evening. And then he's going to be taken away. And then throughout the night, all night long, okay, I've written down a bunch of these passages. I know we're not going to have time for them. Okay, but I want to just point out a couple of this. Okay, this is so neat. Matthew 26. Look at Matthew 26:47. This would be Tuesday night, last night. Okay, we're just kind of transporting ourselves back about 2,000 plus years ago to the week, because it's going to make today extra special when you see this. Okay, so Matthew 26:47. Of course, this is Judas betraying Jesus. Verse 47. So we know Jesus' hour is come. His time is at hand. It's time for the purpose of his life to be fulfilled, where he's going to lay his life down for us. Verse 47. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Look at verse 75. Okay, so Judas is betraying. Peter's going to deny him next in verse 75. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. 26:75. So Peter has denied him. Now, the next morning, now I want you to catch this, okay? So Peter has denied. All these things are going now. This will be the time where the disciples are forsaking him. Look at chapter 27, verse 1. So that was all transpiring the night before when the morning was come. So now the sun has risen. Okay, we got to understand this. The Jewish day, okay, technically begins at 6 p.m. If you look at the Jewish 24-hour day, it starts 6 p.m. the night before. Right. Okay? In creation, the days of creation, the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay? David, when he prays, he says evening and morning and at noon. Okay? So in the Jewish mind, the day begins the night before, at sundown. Now, we're going to look at, as the sun comes up Wednesday morning, Jesus has been up. Okay? And people are trying to figure out who to take him to. They're going to take him over to Pilate. Pilate's like, well, I don't want to deal with him. I can't find any fault with him. Send him over to Herod. Herod is the Jewish ruler. And so he's going to take him, and Jesus is going to be quiet before him. And they're going to send him back over to Pilate. So Pilate's like, okay, I'm stuck with him. I really don't want to do anything. I've had this bad dream about him. He's really innocent. What to do? But I've got this mob. They're going crazy. I've got to appease them. So they're going to, they said, let us have Barabbas. So he lets Barabbas go. And then they whip him. And then we know that they're going to take him away. Now, I want you to catch the timeline here. The Bible says, so turn over to Mark chapter 15. And I just want you to see 3 verses in Mark chapter 15, and then we're going to kind of pull this all together. Okay, Mark 15. So we know that Jesus' hour has come, his time has come. And if I can just briefly, before I show you these verses, that's taking place, it's going to give us 3 distinct hours on this Wednesday. You say, Pastor Luke, can you explain why you believe it's on Wednesday? Okay. So if the Jewish day begins at evening, at 6 o'clock, Jesus Christ dies. He's going to die in a few hours today, on this Wednesday. They have to have him in the grave, buried before 6 o'clock, because the next day would be a Sabbath, not the Saturday Sabbath. This is a special feast of the Passover, so they're going to have a day of rest. Okay? So he has to be buried, and just like Jonah, Jesus even repeated this, as Jonah was in the belly of the earth For 3 days and 3 nights, so also the Son of Man shall be. Okay, so you start the night, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock to Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Thursday night to Friday night, 6 o'clock. Friday night to Saturday night, 6 o'clock. So after sundown on Saturday night, anytime after the sun goes down and before the sun rises Sunday morning, Jesus Christ is risen. Because when the ladies come, it's still dark out, and they're coming, and they're weeping, and there's no body to put spices on. There's no one to come visit. He's gone. Okay? So that fulfills the prophecy, 3 days, 3 nights. So, with that being said, we're at Wednesday. What time is it? It's about 11:30. Okay? I just want you to think about the hour. Okay? So, look at Mark chapter 15, verse 25. We're going to see 3 hours mentioned here in this passage. So we're just going to stay here, and this will probably be our last passage to look at. Mark chapter 15, verse 24, it says, "And when they had crucified him, they parted his garments, casting lots upon them, what every man should take. And it was the, which hour? Third hour. Okay. 6 a.m. is the first hour, right? 6 to 7, right? So the ninth hour, the third hour is going to be 9 a.m. 6 to 7. Okay. Then the 6th hour. And then the 9th hour, I want you to see this, okay? So noon, and then this is 3 p.m. All right. So starting from sunup, okay? So this morning, this is probably not on your mind, thinking, okay, Jesus has been up all night in agony. He's already been out sweating blood, drops of blood in agonizing prayer. He's been denied by one of his most faithful disciples, Peter. He's been betrayed by Judas because Judas is just in it for the money. He is in mental anguish, knowing that the sin of the world is about to be laid on his shoulders, and he knows the worst is still to come. I don't know about you, but when I don't have a good night's sleep, my whole day is kind of messed up the next day. But I've never been through what Jesus had to go through. So I want you to kind of lock into what's going on in this hour. At the third hour, he's being impaled. He's being put on that Roman stake, if you will. He's being pierced through. He's being crucified. That's the third hour. Look down at verse number 33. And when the 6th hour was come, so that's going to be, the 6th hour is going to be at noon. What's going to take place? The 6th hour was come, there was darkness. Okay, so darkness is going to be upon over the whole land until the 9th hour. Okay, and then look at verse 34. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And some of them that stood by when they heard it said, Behold, he calleth Elias. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink, saying, Let alone, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down. Now notice verse 37, and Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. Now what time did Jesus actually breathe his last breath? 3 o'clock. And it was still dark out. But then some things happened. The veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to bottom. Boy, we could talk about that. And then there's going to be the rocks and people coming out of graves. A lot of unusual things. This is the day. This is the time. This is the hour. Jesus has come. He's going to be crucified. And then he's going to, so he'd be literally hanging on the cross. Having a conversation with the Father. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He would talk to those around him. He would talk to just one of the malefactors being crucified with them. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. He's thinking of others. Then he's going to talk to John and his mother and make sure that she's provided for. He's going to say, I thirst. He's going to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? He's going to say the words,
Kula.
It is
Finished.
Telestia. It is finished. Amen. The hour for which Jesus was born into this world had come. And he did not turn away from it. He didn't run from it. He didn't try to pass it on.